Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a really fascinating journey today, a deep dive into the vivid, chaotic, and honestly, highly emotional reality of the Philippine real estate market. We're going to unpack this through the lens of a genuinely relatable song called Key to the Dream, or Susi sa Pangarap. Now, if you've ever thought real estate was just about cashing big commission checks and unlocking doors to pristine, fully furnished condos, well, you are in for a serious reality check. This source material brilliantly captures the unglamorous, gritty daily hustle of a broker. So let's dive right into this and see exactly what it takes to turn someone else's dream into a reality. We are instantly thrown into the action here. 6 a.m., the mind is awake, there's a property in Makati that needs to be shown. There is just this absolute urgency to that opening line. The broker isn't casually waking up. Their mind is literally jolted awake by the sheer weight of their responsibilities. It perfectly sets the stage for a job that demands your full attention from the exact second you open your eyes. Which brings us right to Section 1, Awakening of the Mind. So let's look at this timeline. 6 a.m. hits, you're up, you're focused. Then the morning shifts to meticulous physical preparation. The source mentions fixing the curtains, making sure the convoy looks flawless. Everything has to look absolutely perfect, creating this illusion of effortless luxury. But then we hit midday. The glamour fades instantly because the broker is left waiting out in the intense, sweltering heat, just praying the client actually shows up. It's a massive shift in momentum from highly controlled preparation to completely helpless waiting. And you know, while you're standing in that heat, the mental gymnastics just don't stop. The source highlights this exhausting reality, noting how brokers are constantly pivoting. One minute, you are sweating over missing paperwork, frantically trying to fix administrative errors that could totally tank an entire deal. And the next minute, you're cracking up, sharing this roaring laugh with your colleagues or clients. This brilliantly illustrates the extreme swings of the job. It's a life that is incredibly tiring, yet somehow keeps you profoundly restless and engaged. You're basically running on pure adrenaline and coffee. And that perfectly tees up Section 2, the roller coaster life. Because this industry, it is absolutely bipolar. Seriously, picture this. One day, things are deceptively peaceful. You're just having a chill coffee on the side of the road, thinking everything is finally under control. But literally, the very next day, you are restlessly chasing down property titles, completely unable to sit still. This is not a 9-to-5 job with a predictable rhythm. It's a pendulum swinging wildly between total calm and absolute frantic chaos. And fueling all of those wild swings is this relentless administrative machine that the broker has to keep turning. Step 1, you're constantly refreshing Viber for new listings and analyzing the market in real time. Step 2, you inevitably run into missing paperwork. It's almost guaranteed that something won't be right, and it's on you to fix it. Finally, Step 3, pushing through all of those obstacles just to actually secure the commission and handle the property transfer. The sheer grit required to move a deal from Step 1 to Step 3 is monumental. But paperwork isn't even the hardest part. Welcome to Section 3, Clients Who Ghost. The clients. This part of the source material perfectly captures those ultra-frustrating quirks you have to deal with. First, you have clients demanding fully furnished units right off the bat. Then they want steep discounts on top of it. But the real kicker? The ones who put on an act, pretending to be absolute sure buyers. They'll ask you endless questions, totally draining your time, your energy, your phone battery, and then complete silence. They suddenly ghost you, vanish into thin air. It's a massive headache that every broker just has to swallow as part of the daily grind. Add to that the physical toll of the job. You aren't just sitting in a nice, air-conditioned office. The lyrics specifically mention wading through mud during property inspections. You're getting your shoes dirty, physically trudging through the muck, all while mentally strategizing on how to filter out those fake, bogus prospects we just talked about, just so you can find that one true client. The street smarts, the discarte required to sift through all that noise is incredibly taxing. Which honestly leads to a very natural, very human breaking point. Can I still do this? When the mud, the missing papers, the heat, and the ghosting clients all pile up, there is this poignant moment of extreme vulnerability. It forces you to pause and question your own endurance. The stress is heavy. I mean, think about it. Imagine giving everything you have to a deal only to have the client disappear, and you still have to wake up at 6 a.m. the next day to do it all over again. It takes an iron will. So, why do they do it? That brings us to Section 4, Key to the Dream. Because this right here is the ultimate goal. The dream is in reach, key in hand. All of that crazy administrative hustle, the chasing of titles, the sweltering heat, it all crystallizes into a small piece of metal. You are physically holding the key to someone else's dream. It's not just a transaction anymore. It is a tangible, life-changing reality. And the milestones are deeply emotional and cultural. The source celebrates this journey, from ribbon cutting to blessing the door. In Philippine culture, moving into a new home is a massive spiritual and communal event. There are house blessings, ribbon cuttings, tears of joy. And the broker? They're right there for all of it. They aren't just selling a concrete box. They are facilitating a major life milestone for a family. They get to stand alongside the client at the absolute peak of the mountain. But to survive long enough to see those moments, a broker has to cultivate a bulletproof mindset. Yes, the daily grind is sometimes stressful and messy, but the coping mechanism is simple. It's just a job, nothing personal. You can't take the ghosting to heart. You can't let a missing paper ruin your week. You have to accept the chaos, detach just enough to protect your peace, and keep moving forward. Because at the end of the day, the true victory is completely human. The lyrics proudly declare that absolutely nothing beats the feeling of looking at a client, seeing their pure joy, and watching them stand inside their very own home. That smile, that unadulterated happiness of finally owning a sanctuary, it completely washes away all the exhaustion of the journey. And that wraps up our explainer for today. We've seen the brutal 6 a.m. wake-up calls, the frustrating clients, the missing paperwork, and ultimately, the beautiful, deeply fulfilling rewards of the real estate broker's journey. It takes incredible resilience to make it happen. So I'll leave you with this thought to ponder. Looking at the full picture, despite all the stress, the mud, and the absolute chaos, are you ready to hand over the next key? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep seeking out the keys to your own dreams.